Hello, my friend. Today I want to share a story that changed my life. It's simple, but it might change yours too. When I first spoke English, people laughed, not because I was funny, but because of my strong accent. I felt small and ashamed. Every time I opened my mouth, someone would smile or joke. Say that again, they said. Not to learn, but to laugh. At school, I stopped raising my hand. I knew the answers, but I was too scared of making a mistake in English. I started believing a lie that people like me, with accents, can't speak English well, and should stay silent. But deep inside, I had a dream. A small voice whispered, "Don't give up. You have something to say. Your voice matters." One day, I watched a movie. A character said, "Your voice can change the world." I paused. Could my voice change anything? That sentence stayed with me. I wrote it on a note and stuck it to my wall. I read it every morning before school. That's when I decided I don't need to sound like a native speaker. I just need to be brave enough to speak. This is not just a story about English. It's about confidence, courage, and the power of believing in yourself when no one else does. So today, I invite you to listen, to feel, and to grow. Because this is more than English practice. It's a journey of change. I'll speak slowly and clearly, using simple words. You'll improve your English and maybe, just maybe, change how you see yourself. Let's begin. My name is Alex. I grew up in a small town in the South. My family was poor, but we were always full of love. My parents worked hard. My father was a farmer. My mother stayed home. They didn't speak English, only our local language. When I was young, I liked reading stories. I didn't understand all the words, but I loved how English sounded in movies. At school, English was hard. The grammar confused me. The pronunciation scared me. But deep down, I still wanted to learn. My teacher once asked me to read aloud. I stood up, shaking. I tried to speak, but the whole class started laughing. I sat down quickly. My face was red. I felt like I never wanted to speak English again, not even a single word. But at night, when I was alone, I would watch videos online. I repeated every sentence, slowly, again and again. There was one channel I loved. A man with a kind voice told stories. His English was slow, and I understood every word. That gave me hope. Maybe I didn't need perfect grammar. Maybe I just needed to practice every day and keep listening. One day, I made a decision. I would learn English on my own. No excuses, no waiting, just me, my phone, and my dream. I wrote my goal in a notebook: speak English with confidence, help others do the same. That sentence became my promise. My friends didn't understand. Why learn English, they asked. You're not going a week anywhere. I smiled, but I didn't answer. I knew my reason. I wanted more. I wanted to travel, meet people from other countries, and speak to the world in my voice. Even if I stayed in my small town forever, I wanted English to open a bigger world inside me. So every morning, I woke up early. I played English audio while brushing my teeth. I repeated each phrase under my breath. At night, I read simple stories. I wrote down new words. I practiced speaking alone. I listened to the sound of my own voice. It wasn't easy. I made many mistakes. But I kept going. I was slow, but I was moving. And that's what mattered most. I started speaking to myself in English every day. In the mirror, I said, "Hello, my name is Alex. I want to improve." Sometimes I laughed at myself. Sometimes I felt silly. But I didn't stop. I believed that small steps would lead to big change. I downloaded podcasts made for English learners. I listened while walking to school, while washing dishes, even while lying in bed. I paused every few seconds, repeated each sentence. My favorite was, "You don't need to be perfect. Just keep going." At school, I still didn't speak much. I was afraid people would laugh, but I started writing more in English notebooks. One day, I tried to speak with a tourist in town. I was nervous. My words came out wrong, but he smiled and listened patiently. He said, "Your English is good." I almost cried. It was the first time someone encouraged me, not laughed at me. That moment gave me power. It wasn't perfect English, but it was real. It was mine. It connected me to someone new. After that, I joined an online English group. People from many countries talked on Zoom. I listened more than I spoke. The first time I introduced myself in the group, my voice shook, but they clapped. They said, "Welcome, Alex." From that day, I practiced with them every week. I made friends. We helped each other learn. We corrected mistakes with kindness. I learned that it's okay to be wrong. Mistakes are part of the path. Every mistake teaches you something new. There were hard days. Sometimes I felt stuck. Sometimes I didn't understand anything and wanted to quit. But I remembered my notebook, speak with confidence, help others. I read it when I wanted to give up. I also recorded my voice once a week. At first, I hated how I sounded. My accent felt too strong. My words felt broken. But over time, I heard progress. Slowly, my voice became clearer. My sentences were smoother. I started to like the sound of me. I even began helping others online. I answered their questions. I told them, "Don't be afraid of your voice." They asked, "How did you learn?" I said, "Every day. Little by little, I failed. I tried again. That's all." One evening, my English group leader asked me to give a short talk. Just 5 minutes. I was surprised and a little afraid. I wanted to say no, but then I thought, this is my chance. I've practiced. I've waited. Now it's time to speak. I prepared for days. I wrote every word. I recorded myself again and again. I listened and fixed every mistake I could hear. When the day came, my hands were shaking, but I smiled and began. "Hello, my name is Alex. And this is my story." I told them about my first failure, about how people laughed, about my small town, and how I learned to speak anyway. The room was quiet, everyone listened. When I finished, they clapped. Not because I was perfect, but because I was real. After the talk, people messaged me. They said, "Your story gave me hope." Some even said, "Can you help me speak too?" That was the turning point, the moment I knew my accent didn't make me weak. It made me human. It made me brave. I started a small YouTube channel. Nothing fancy, just me, my phone, and simple English stories from my heart. In my first video, I said, "They laughed at my accent, now they ask me for advice." That sentence became my message. The video didn't go viral, but people watched. They left comments. "I feel the same. You speak like me. You give me courage." Soon, more people joined. Some asked for one-on-one speaking practice. Some just needed a friend to say, "You can do it." I wasn't a teacher, but I was someone who understood. I shared the same fears, and now I shared the light I had found. Step by step, my confidence grew. I spoke on live calls. I joined English events. I even helped organize an online conference. One day, a teacher from another country emailed me. She said, "Your videos helped my students." Can you speak to our class? That message made me cry. Years ago, I was scared to say hello. Now, teachers wanted me to inspire their students. I gave a talk to that class. I told them, English is not a race. It's a road. Walk it with love and patience. After the talk, a student wrote, "Now believe I can do it too." That one sentence made every hard day worth it. Success felt good, but it also brought pressure. People expected me to speak perfectly now. I started to feel nervous before every video. One day, I posted a video and someone commented, "Your grammar is still wrong." Another said, "Your accent is too strong." Those words hurt. For a moment, I forgot how far I had come. I felt like the old me again, afraid, unsure, embarrassed. I stayed quiet for 2 weeks. No videos, no practice. I thought, maybe I'm not good enough to help others after all. But one night, I listened to my very first recording. My voice was soft, broken, but full of hope. I remembered why I started. It wasn't to be perfect. It was to be real, to show others that progress is slow, but it's possible if you keep walking. So I made a new video. I called it, "I Still Make Mistakes." I told the truth. I shared my fears, my struggles, my heart. That video got more comments than any before. People said, "Thank you for being honest. Now I don't feel alone." I realized something big: people don't need a perfect speaker. They need someone who understands the pain of learning. And I did. I still do. I know how it feels when your voice shakes, when words don't come, when people don't listen. But I also know the joy of saying something and being understood. The power of speaking up, even when your voice is not strong. I started telling people, you don't need a perfect accent. You need a brave heart. English is not about sound. It's about connection. Sometimes I still feel doubt. Sometimes I still hear that voice. You're not good enough. But I answer it now. I'm growing. After all this time, after all the mistakes and small victories, I've learned a few lessons that I want to share with you. First, never give up. Even when people laugh, their opinion is not your future. Your journey belongs to you alone. Second, your accent is not a problem. It's a part of your story. It shows where you're from and how far you've come. Third, speak every day. Even when no one listens, speak in the mirror. Speak to your phone. Speak to yourself with kindness. Fourth, mistakes are not your enemy. Silence is. Every mistake teaches you something. Speak more. Fear less. Grow stronger. Fifth, English is a bridge, not a wall. It connects hearts. Don't use it to judge yourself. Use it to reach others. And finally, success is not about speaking like a native. It's about not being afraid to speak at all. You don't need perfect grammar. You don't need fancy words. You just need to be real, honest, and consistent. If you're still learning, keep going. If you're scared, speak anyway. If you've failed before, start again today. I was once a boy who shook when saying hello. Now I help others say hello to their future. This is your time now. Your turn to grow. You have a voice. You have a story. You have something to share. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start now. Speak now. Believe now. You are not alone on this journey. You are stronger than you think. You are more capable than you believe. You are a learner, and that is powerful. So, one more time, say it with me. My voice matters. My story matters. I am learning, and I will not give up. Thank you for listening to my story. Now go write yours, in your own words, in your own way, one word at a time.